Max and I, you can read it and laugh, it's okay. Max and I work with the math methods teachers at Swarthmore College, and we were working with them this fall, and one of the teachers very responsibly sent us some questions in between sessions, and she wondered, what makes a good math curriculum? What if you don't like your math curriculum? And you're a new teacher, right? And can you write your own math curriculum? And I thought, well, that should take care of the next 3 sessions that we have to do. So, well, I decided, of course, I would start, since this is 2015, I'd asked the math Twitter blogosphere what they thought, what makes a good math curriculum? And they had a lot of ideas that are around, a lot of structure and not too much clutter and some good problems and guidance around misconceptions and things. And I wanted to add in, okay, it's got to have conceptual understanding and problem solving. It's got to have process and methods, not just procedures and answer getting, and lots of teacher support so the teacher can actually understand how it works, why it works, and what they're supposed to do on a daily basis and what it might look like. NCTM has weighed in, not surprisingly, all right, and the big thing I think here is the coherent learning progressions, right? Really good activities they're not a dime a dozen, but there are lots of them, but it's very different from have a coherent learning progression. So what if you don't like your activity? I said, well, you could go work at a different school, but she wasn't sure about that. So people had some ideas, but a lot of it was around collaborating and communicating with other people. And then I added in some things you can also ask when you get there, like, so how'd you pick this? I'm kind of curious, and how is it supporting the work that your district and school are doing? Even though I'm only 21, I'm going to ask those questions. Get to know your new colleagues, see if you can rely on them, or if you need to find new friends online, get a copy of a book that you do like, and then adapt the best you can. The third question is actually kind of the easiest one to answer. I didn't show individual tweets here because everyone pretty much said the same thing. Yeah, not right away, not quickly, not by yourself. And then, of course, Levi went ahead and asked me, so what did I think? Well, what I said to Hope was, no. You cannot write your own math curriculum. You're a new teacher, all right? We do not ask conductors to compose music. We don't ask surgeons to develop my new knee. We do not ask family doctors to develop drugs. Some of them do those things, but we want each of them to be good at the thing that we want them to be good at. Right? We don't need teachers to be good at writing curriculum because they're in the room with the little children taking care of them, and they don't need to worry about other things. Right? We are taught in teacher school to write lessons for some reason still. All right? And there's a lot of stuff that's available. So I work with this middle school teacher who's like, well, here are my standards, and this week I'm just going to do this one, and then I'm going to look in my file cabinet, and I'm going to find some stuff, and they're going to be great, and we're going to do something coherent. Teachers here are thinking, well, there's some lessons in this that never really go well. Let's rewrite them. And I said, do you know why they don't go well? And they're like, not really. I said, let's teach them this year as written. Let's take careful notes, and let's figure out how do we need to tweak them so that they are better next year. Right? We worked with a group of schools who needed to teach math better. And so we said, oh, you have a book. How about if we actually use the book? Let's talk about how the book works. Let's start on page 1, and let's go through it, and let's make sure that at each grade level, we're doing our responsibilities. Let's look at a lesson. Let's analyze, what does the lesson really do? How is it set up? What does your math block look like? What does your classroom look like? What's going on in here? Where are the assessments? What are you supposed to do with them, right? That somebody else wrote because they know more than you about how to do this. Let's look at orchestrating a classroom discussion. Here it says, well, let's point out to them these things. And here's where you go, no, don't point out to them. Show them this function. Let them do the work. What's there? What do you notice and wonder about that function? We wouldn't call it a function necessarily in 3rd grade, but your in-out table, right? We're working with another K-4 school who is transitioning from investigations to everyday math, which is a long story. And they thought, because they really liked investigations, they were sad, and we thought, well, let's look at learning progressions. What does fractions look like starting in kindergarten and going through 4th grade? So we sat down in the library, and they opened up their books. There are 2 of them in each grade, and they made posters about what are the grade level goals around fractions and fraction concepts in your grade. And they made posters, and then we talked about them. And they could see, wow, I really need to hold up my end of the deal because this is where kids are going. So I ask of you, teacher educators, don't ask your student teachers to write lessons. Help them analyze lessons and understand how a good math program is put together. Please, I beg of you. My lesson about Hershey bar fractions was awful, right? Coaches and administrators, don't ask your teachers to align some book to your standards in some random order, okay? Give them a good program that they can teach from beginning to end with very small modifications. Give them support, give them time to figure it out, but most importantly, give them an environment in which they can do what only the human people can do, which is to listen to, encourage, and guide students to explore this beautiful, powerful, wonderful thing called mathematics. Thank you.